Welcome back to Dolls Amok. I have another unboxing. So I feel a little guilty. I realize I have bought a lot of dolls this spring and the first part of summer. And I was swearing off buying all dolls. And as usual, American Girl released their long hair looks dolls at the beginning of last week. And at first I thought I was spared because I didn't really connect at all with them, and I thought honestly they were overpriced and a little gimmicky, and so I was like, oh good, you know, something that I don't need to collect. And I went happily on with my life for about a week, and then I suddenly fell in love with number 134, the Josefina mold. So I had some rewards to use up, so I bought one of the new outfits. She's here, she just arrived today. I'm ready to open her up. Let's see what she's like. Let's compare her to a few other dolls, and without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, let's go. So the reason I changed my mind about her, it's not like that I disliked any of the dolls, but I just thought, you know, for a few little dinky hair accessories, they're kind of way overpriced. You know, they just didn't really do anything for me when they came out, but I do think all three are beautiful. I really like the Sonali mold. I think she's number 135. Really like her, you know, but didn't really have plans to get any of them. And then this girl caught my eye. She just looks really summery, and I love the color of her hair, and I really want to compare it to my Peaches and Cream brunette, because my theory is it's the same color hair, and I want to see if I'm right. So we have the cute little outfit, yay! She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. Packing material, oh, so fun. Okay, I'm really glad that I caved and used my rewards. I do feel like rewards are the way to go with these girls, just because they are so much higher priced for a Truly Me doll. I mean, I would pay that for a custom doll, no problem, but for Truly Me, it just seems a little high. She's beautiful. Aww. And I love the Josefina mold in the medium skin because it just reminds me of Josefina, and I think that was one thing that happened is I started to connect with her just because she looked so like tan and summery, and I could see this little Latina girl, and I was like kind of connecting to her, one of my characters that I'm working on. What can I say? I fell in love with her. Okay, so I'm going to show you the doll in the box, and hopefully we can do this without a reflection. Oops, there's the reflection. Let's try this direction. There we go. So you get to look at her before I do. So there she is in her box. Let me take a look. Ooh, really symmetrical face. Nice. I got a really, really pretty one. Of course, I always think they're pretty, but also the lips are really red, which is nice. They're not just like a muted tan. They're very berryish. Oh, those brown eyes. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So pretty. And as you know, if you watched my video of opening and reviewing number 131, I really have this thing for Julie. And even though I don't really do the historical dolls, and I just thought this girl reminded me of Julie with her long straight hair, kind of like a brunette version of Julie, and I love that. So there are just a lot of things about her that I liked. So there she is in her box, and we're going to get her out. Okay, here we go. So I'm a little nervous. The Doll Studio by Chris, on his unboxing video for 134, he got a really good one. Her hair was beautiful, her face was beautiful. This girl has beautiful face, but we don't know about her hair. But then on Instagram, I saw somebody else got her and was really dissatisfied with the wig. They said it was dry and uneven, so I am very interested to see what it's like. So here she is, looking adorable in her box. There she is. So cute. So cute. Aww. So pretty. I like the new outfit that these three girls come in, but I wouldn't say that it's my favorite. To me, it's a little bit of a letdown after the new Truly Me outfit that, you know, the other new dolls come in. I feel like that is really hard to beat. That outfit is just so awesome. But I like that this has multiple pieces. I don't like the colors quite as well, but I like that it's mix and matchable. Just cutting her little plastic ties here. Okay, I'm going to take out the hair supplies, which are, to me, the least interesting part. I do like that 134 came with the rainbow theme supplies, and I do like and appreciate that each of the girls has a slightly different set, so that's kind of cool. But I'm taking that out. So excited to see her hair. Oh, I forgot. They are now tied around the midriff. Still not used to that, but I think it's really nice that they're so secure. Okay, got her free. Okay, here she is. Our new girl, and she is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Let me get those little plastic ties out of the way. So there she is in her hairnet. So this shirt is really cute. Seems like a school outfit for me. Does this seem schoolish to you? And also, I feel a little like maybe retro 90s, but I don't know if that's just my imagination. I'm not a super fashion conscious person, but something about the lines, the mock turtleneck or like the little half-length turtleneck, it's not like a fold over, but you know what I mean. And yeah, the stripes, the colors, it just seems a little 90s to me. Are the 90s cool right now? Is that what's happening? So the boots are really cute. The boots remind me 90s aesthetics. They have that thick sole, giving her a little extra height. So I'm just gonna look at her. She is so pretty. So I am getting very strong Josefina vibes. Definitely reminds me of Josefina. And the hair, I will say in this lighting, again, not great lighting in here, it's really dark. So I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a dark brown, and this is more of a black brown with auburn. Now, I've never had Maritza. I would be really curious to see a comparison of her wig with Maritza. I've heard really good things about Maritza's wig, and I'm wondering if it's the same, but that is so pretty. And like I said, I really want to compare it to Peaches and Cream Brunette because I feel like there's a lot of similarity in the tone of the hair. I love her face. Isn't the Josefina mold just beautiful? My gosh, so pretty. Okay, let us just have the moment that we've all been waiting for and see what her wig is like. Crossing my fingers that it's not dry. I don't really care about the uneven part. I feel like that's something that we have seen in other dolls. My Julie doll, my more recent Julie doll, had a kind of uneven wig, so that doesn't really bother me. I can trim it, but I can't make it not be dry easily, so really hoping that's not the case. Hang on, her hairnet is like knotted around some of her hair, so I just don't want to pull her hair out, so there we go. Got that out. So the other thing is I felt really reassured is the Doll Studio by Chris. He said her hair was nice and thick, and I can confirm that as far as the thickness of the ponytail, that is definitely true. I'm gonna have to grab a brush though because of the way it's so long and it was looped up in the hairnet. It's kind of messy. So I need to go grab a brush, but I'm just feeling it. So I would say not dry. Feels very smooth. I would say very much in texture like Rapunzel, Playline Rapunzel. If you have her, that's kind of what I'm feeling in her hair. Not super slick like the older Julie's, or say like number 38 if you ever had number 38. Not that slippery, but also not textured like 117, and I think 118 had that slightly textured hair, and honestly my 110 had that hair as well where it was like slightly textured on the fiber, so I'm not feeling that either. So hang on, let me go get a brush. We need to brush this out so we can really appreciate this properly. Okay, I got my brushes and hair supplies. This is my favorite brush. This is actually a Bonnie and Pearl brush. Does anybody remember Bonnie and Pearl? About 10 years ago, no longer around. So I do feel like the dolls with straight hair and slick hair, like Julie, Isabel, the original Isabel, any snags really show in their hair, so I just recommend it being really gentle if you don't want to see texture in her wig. So it's not dry. It was just a little messy coming out of the hairnet. And we have quite a bit of shedding going on. Honestly, most of it is short hairs, which is interesting. It's not as much shedding long hairs as the short hairs, the filler hairs. Oh my gosh, so pretty. I feel like these dolls really would have hit a chord with me when I was little. I always wanted to have the doll with the longest hair. I just had this thing about long hair. Okay, so it's very nice and shiny and slick, not dry. So I would say that post I saw on Instagram where somebody said theirs had dry hair is a fluke, which is really good. I'm relieved. Oh, I just vacuumed too. Look at all this shedding hair. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, we've definitely got some shedding. I'm just sort of pulling the loose hairs out of the end here. And I'm just bundling them up because I don't want to just put them on my floor since I just cleaned. Okay. So there is her hair from the back. So there is, of course, this slight bend here from the way it was looped up in the hairnet, and I expect that to relax. It is so pretty. And yeah, I feel like the color is the same. I think I was right. I think it's the same as Peaches and Cream Brunette, which is awesome. I love that color. It's kind of a very dark chocolate brown with these really interesting auburn highlights. If anybody watching this has Maritza, can you tell me if this looks like the same color? I'm just curious. You know, I always love comparing the dolls. And I like knowing what's unique about the different dolls. And I know Maritza had a really pretty wig. But since I've never had her, I don't know what it looks like. So there she is. Hair is all brushed, much better. So just needs a little bit of like care right out of the hairnet, which is unusual. Usually the hair looks pretty good out of the hairnet, but probably just because it's so long. I feel like of the 3 long looks dolls, this is the shortest of the 3. Is that true? We look like we're hitting above the back inside of her knee. See that? It's not, and is that, I guess it is uneven, unless her head is crooked. I guess that's a little bit uneven. Not a lot. I think it's like it's swooping, so it's a little hard to tell. But yeah, I feel like it's coming just about to the back of her knees, which is good for a straight hair wig. I think that's really doable. I feel like Playline Rapunzel's hair is longer, but it's been a few months since I've played with her, since I sold mine, so I'm not sure, but I feel like Playline Rapunzel's hair is a little longer. I feel like Kanani's hair was longer. I might be about the length of Addie's hair. Is that right? I mean, I feel like Addie's hair, if you pull it down, because it's so wonderful and poofy, but if you pull it down, it reaches just about the back of her knees, like the longest point. So yeah, there you go. The difference with this girl, of course, is it's all one length. So instead of being tapered, or even having like a long curl, like say on Truly Me, is it 82, the Josefina mold, Truly Me with the medium skin, I feel like her curls are really long if you pull and stretch. It's just more unusual to have it be so full and straight and blunt cut at the bottom. So gorgeous, really pretty, and she's beautiful. Look at that. Love her. So I already have a name picked out. I'm going to name her Giulia. The Italian spelling, I feel like she looks so much like a little Italian girl. So that's what I'm going with. I also kind of like seeing her as a Latina girl. But for some reason, the whole like Italian vibe, it just seems very appropriate for the summer. So I'm going to do Giulia. We'll see. You know, I always let them tell me if they don't like what I've picked out. But I think that's what we're going to do. I think it works for her. She looks very thoughtful, a little bit shy with her slightly downward gaze. But there she is. Isn't she gorgeous? Yay! Okay, let's do a few comparisons just for fun, since I love comparisons. So this is, of course, Peaches and Cream Brunette, who I named Ginger. and this is Truly Me 134. And I had this theory when I saw 134's hair that it was the same color as Peaches and Cream Brunette, and I think I'm right. I'm going to turn them toward the light and toward the camera so you can decide. But I feel like that is the same color. So obviously texture is quite different. But I'm going to see if the fiber feels different. And I think it's the same. I feel like it's the same material. It's just flat iron straight and wavy. I feel like it's so hard when they're curled. I guess Peaches and Cream feels like it has maybe a slight texture to it, and 134's does not. As far as the color, let me take her off her stand here. I feel like it is basically the same, but there might be a slight variation. So I'm going to tip them toward the camera. So highlights wise, I feel like Peaches and Cream highlights are a little bit more orange, like a little more peachy. And 134's are just a little darker and a little more red. Are you seeing that? That is what I'm seeing. That's what my eye is picking up. So a little lighter on the highlights here and just a little darker here. But very, very similar. But yeah, I'm going to say the highlights are actually slightly different. I feel like the base color... Oh, I really want good light for this. I feel like the base color is basically the same, but maybe the highlights are a little different. So that's kind of cool that they're different. Again, wouldn't it be awesome to see Maritza in this lineup? But there you go, 134 and Peaches and Cream Brunette. So otherwise very different. We've got different skin tones, we've got different eye colors, but similar hair color, similar aesthetic with the highlights and the long luxurious hair. But obviously Long Looks 134 is longer. And like I said, it does look like it has a slightly more browner, I guess, reddish browner highlight versus the peachy highlights on Peaches and Cream Brunette. Okay, here is 134 with my adorable 128. This is Lydia. And I just mainly wanted to compare the Josefina mold. Obviously, Lydia has the standard light skin, which is now considered light to medium. It has darkened just a tad over the last few years. And she has the freckles and green eyes, and 134 has the standard brown and no freckles and the medium skin tone. But they have the same eyelashes and they have the same eyebrows. I feel like their lip paint is different, so let me just look at them here. Both lip paints are really nice contrast with the skin tone. Oh, they are both so beautiful. Very similar, but I would say that 134's is just a little bit rosier. Are you seeing that? That's what my eye is seeing. And then of course we have non-highlighted hair. American Girl does a really good job usually of having a very nice realistic blend of colors in their wigs, and this dark black brown wig is no exception. It does have different colors blended in, but there's no chunky highlights in it. So 134's wig is pretty different. Just tip that there. So you can see it's browner and it does have marked highlights, whereas 128 just reads as all the same color. So there they go. I think they look like sisters, great pals, very, very cute together. Definitely not redundant. Okay, here is 134 with my beautiful Belle, who I named Estelle. And she has a unique color. Belle has this beautiful dark auburn hair, very similar to Truly Me 34, if you remember back in the day. 34 has a unique color of hair, and that's what Belle's hair is a lot like. And it's very unruly because it comes in that updo that you have to like snip the stitches off, which is just crazy. But anyway, so Josefina molds, totally different skin colors, different eye colors. My custom Belle doesn't have hazel eyes, she has the light brown, and different eyebrows and different lip paint. So Belle's paint is very, very pink, very kind of Disney princessy. But just for a hair comparison, there you go. So both on the auburn spectrum, but Belle's is definitely more auburn brown and just lighter and obviously very wavy. Even you almost would call that like a loose curl. But there they are. They're happy to see each other. Super cute. Okay, and here is my Truly Me 131, who I named Haley after Haley Mills. And yes, she is dressed up as Haley Mills in Pollyanna. This is this amazing dress by the Lemon Bay Doll Company. On Etsy, she did this complete repro of the most iconic Pollyanna dresses from the 1960s Disney film. So I just wanted to show you, both the newer Josefina mold, the same eyelashes and eyebrows, and they both have the same brown eyes. But Haley has the standard light to medium skin tone like 128, whereas this girl, 134, has the standard medium skin tone. So obviously they both are straight hair girls. Let's see the length difference here. So you can see that Haley's hair comes about to her lower waist, maybe like the top of her bum, and 134's is several inches longer. Very straight wigs. Texture-wise, I would say that 134 feels like it's a stronger fiber. Haley's fiber feels a little bit delicate, a little thinner, and a little shinier, if that makes sense. It's subtle, but I just feel like this is a heavier, stronger fiber, which makes sense for a doll that's made for hair play and extra long hair that you don't want to tangle up. You don't want to have a thin fiber for hair that is going to be played with by 8-year-old girls and not get tangled up. So I think that was a wise choice. So there you go. There is 131 and 134. Okay, let's take a quick look at what she comes with in her little pack here. We have the little booklet with the styling guide. I really like that they did this. I often kind of get stuck as to thinking of hairstyles for my dolls. I kind of get in a bit of a rut. I can like braid it or do pigtails. So this is going to be nice to get some ideas. And my understanding is that the 3 different dolls come with different hairstyling guides and different styles appropriate for their hair, which is cool. Okay, so we have the pink and purple hair extensions. This is probably my least favorite part of this pack. I'm just like not into hair extensions, but here they are. So very, very smooth, so smooth. Kind of light and thin. I doubt that I will use these. Oops, I got some tangles because of the way they come out of the bag. So there's that. So 2 of those. Okay, the accessories I liked most from her set are these adorable little pom-pom hair ties. These are cute. I would actually wear these if they made these for bigger people. Super cute. So there's 2 lavender ones and there's 2 hot pink ones. So these ones I could definitely see using for her. So cute. I like that. Then we got lots of hair clips. I mean, I have hair clips, so it's not a big deal, but hair clips are always useful. So it looks like there's 4 in one pack. We've got 4 stars, 4 different colors. So there's like a dark pink, light pink, orange, and like a pale green star there. I don't know if you can see that. And then we get 4 butterfly clips. These butterfly clips are nice. This is a step up from McKenna's clips. I thought McKenna's clips just felt really cheap. So same colors. We have the green, the orange, the dark pink, and the light pink. So very pretty. Making my little collection there. The part I liked best was these bows with the rainbow ribbon. I think that's really cute. That I like. I mean, do I think it's worth an extra, what is it, $40 to have something you could make yourself by getting some rainbow ribbon and some barrettes and gluing the ribbon to the barrettes? No, but those are really pretty, so. And then this, I guess I'll have to read the guide. I have never even seen this tool before. Honestly, I can't remember what it's called, so I'm going to have to read about that. That's new to me. And then we have little hair elastics there. They're really, really thin kind. I may or may not use these. I might just keep using the silicone ones I have that are a little stronger. And we do get the hair gems. So I don't know how I feel about this because I like that they're not like stick backed. They're like Velcro. They're not like stickers. That I like. But my feeling has always been like keep the Velcro away from doll hair. So they are really pretty colors though. I will say that. Very shiny, very glittery, pretty colors. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get inspired. And then I guess this is what they are justifying the price with, is this extra like fake hair tool that each doll comes with, and they come with different ones. Oh my gosh, this tape is stuck. Okay. This is the flat iron, which makes sense since her hair is so straight. I have curly hair. I have never flattened my hair in any way, shape, or form. I like that it has a little on-off switch on the side. That's really cute. Can you see that? Is that in focus? That's pretty cute. Am I going to use this? No, but it's cute. It feels nice. It's pretty sturdy. So those are the hair accessories. Again, I don't really think it's worth the extra price. I think these dolls are overpriced, but I used rewards for mine, so she actually came out to the price of a regular doll because I had some rewards built up. Yeah, I mean, if you have rewards or a sale or something like that, I'd say they're wonderful. They're beautiful dolls. So that's kind of cool. So that's what we get there. Okay, let us open the outfit. This is the Pink and Preppy outfit. I love plaid. I love school outfits, and this looks very much to me like a school outfit. I'm also really feeling strong retro vibes on this one. Actually, interestingly, I'm feeling 70s with the blouse with the bow, and I'm definitely feeling 90s. I'm a little surprised that this is being sold as a Truly Me and not as like a historical outfit for Nikki and Isabel Hoffman, the 90s twins, but so it is. So let us see if it's something that my Julia will like. I really like one thing about this, and I will show you what that is when we get there. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh. So, and that is the other thing. I guess I wasn't sure if it was all one piece or not, and it is. This is a dress. It's all one piece. That is really pretty. And honestly, I think you could just put this over a white t-shirt. So if you don't like the white blouse, the whole kind of retro blouse thing with the big bow, I think a white t-shirt would be absolutely fine. That is super pretty. It's a nice woven material, and it is a real weave. So it's not just a printed plaid where you don't see like the colors on the wrong side. It's actually a full weave. So that's really nice. Here's the blouse. I love having blouses. Blouses are so useful when we're dressing and doing mix and match. I kind of don't know how I feel about the bow. Not sure, but it's really cute. It just has elastic cuffs. They don't button at the cuffs or anything like that. Standard Velcro in the back. 2 little mini buttons right here. That is super cute. This is the part I love. So I don't know if you've watched my opening video for the new Melody and Linnea outfits that came out in the spring, but I did kind of rip into the headband being plastic on Melody's outfit, and it kind of bothered me. This is a headband that is cloth covered. It's actually covered with the same cloth as the dress. I love that, and right away that makes me feel like the outfit is living up to the, you know, high price that American Girl charges for their doll clothes. So I really like that. I think that's wonderful. I can feel that it's a sturdy plastic underneath here, but they actually covered it with fabric. So thank you, American Girl. I love that. Very pretty. That gets an A+ for me. Here are the shoes. So again, we're getting these platform shoes. I don't know what they call them these days, if they still call them platforms. Can you see those really chunky soles? Personally, I wouldn't be caught dead in a shoe like this, but on my dolls, I'm not going to complain. They're super cute. It's basically a pleather. It's not like a patent. It's not shiny, but they're all one tone. I think it would have been up a notch if they had been like 2 tones, but they are fairly detailed and they look to be nicely made. So pretty cute. And then we get a standard pair of socks. So that is the outfit, and I think we should try it on Julia right away. All right, here is my 134 in the Pink and Preppy outfit. I think this is a wonderful outfit. I give it a really solid A. I feel like for me, the shoes are the weakest link. I personally find them a little hideous. Just not my style. I would prefer something a little bit less clunky. But I was never into those big Doc Marten clunky type shoes, even when they were the height of fashion. I thought they were ugly. So that's just me. So not my favorite shoes. I feel like the shoes that she comes in are actually really pretty with the outfit, so I'll probably switch her to those, but that's what it comes with. The blouse is really nice, and I really appreciate that it's very slim fitting, so it doesn't push out the bodice of the dress. I think the fabric is lovely. It's actually a nice weave. It's not too heavy. The pink, the colors, it's like pink, berry, almost like a red violet. So really, really nice colors, right up my alley. I love the cloth covered headband. It is a little hard to get it to sit right, but one thing that I really like is they actually made the sides of the headband long enough that it does hold back most of her hair, and she does have quite a bit of hair. So I think that's really nice. I couldn't quite get it over the hair, and let me do that again here. So it might take a little work to get it to sit like smooth on the hair. I'm almost getting a little of a retro 60s vibe from it, the way it wants to sit up kind of tall. Super cute. I will have to cut the tag off because, you know, nobody's going to want a tag sticking off in their hair. That's just American Girl being silly. But yeah, look at that. Super cute outfit. I love it. And I like this a lot better than what she came in. So I think I'm going to kind of consider this her meet outfit. Nothing against what she came in. It's just not my favorite aesthetic. So with the exception of the shoes, I'm going to change her back into the other boots, her arrival boots, and kind of like, yeah, we'll see. The shoes might grow on me. You know, again, I'm not the most fashionable person in the world, and I generally don't really have a lot of interest in trends, so I am probably just badly behind the times, but I just don't find clunky shoes attractive. I think she is an absolutely stunning doll. No dry hair, not especially uneven to my eye. I mean, it's a little hard to tell, like I said, with that bend in the hair. I think she's lovely. The hair is a nice thickness. It's not so thick that it's too much to work with, but it makes a really nice ponytail. It feels very solid. I haven't yet noticed any coverage issues. You know, it's a little bit on the thin side at the top of the head, but I'm not seeing the wig cap. Again, I think that's just how they're sewing the wigs these days. They're putting the weight of the hair more along the hairline and the front of the hair and not as much at the back. But not seeing the wig cap, so no issues there. I love her face. I think she's gorgeous. I think her face is kind of average. It's not narrow and it's not real round. But with the big, beautiful brown eyes, also that tends to contract the shape of the face visually just a little bit. So that might be why it's not reading as your really round face. But I'm a big fan of the Josefina mold in general. And I actually really like what they've done with it over the last few years. I think it's gotten really cute. So yeah, there she is. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for sticking with me. And we hope that you are having a wonderful week, or at least that you have some doll time to look forward to and that you're rewarding yourself with some playtime. You deserve it. We'll see you next time. Lots of fun doll videos coming up, so keep your eye out and please like and subscribe. I'd love to have you follow along. We'll see you next time. Bye.